all four of them can win the championship.
They had nothing but Phoenix to focus on, and they were a bag of
I don't want to be a sport. I want to be a racing series.
I believe in what I'm saying.
We all kind of believe the same thing. There just needs to be a change.
I think the best thing for NASCAR is if Denny Hamlin wins the championship and Jim France has to hand in the trophy. Welcome to Kevin Harvick's Happy Hour, presented by NASCAR on Fox. I'm Kevin Harvick. She's Kaitlyn Vincie, and the Chief Hype Officer.
Chief Hype. He's got it on his jacket today. Very nice. Gold.
Gold. Yeah, this is my championship edition jacket.
So you're going to wear that this weekend at driver intros?
Yeah, it has a big championship trophy on the back.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mamba had that text fired off to me and Kevin like immediately.
Oh, yeah.
About William Byron.
What text was that? The Shaq one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Well, it's good news, bad news that I picked with you to be on defense. Bad news is my guy got eliminated.
Your guy did get eliminated. Listen, man, that's not the Kevin Harvick way. Kevin Harvick is an offensive race car driver in person. You play defense. That's not your style, bud. That's not what you do. Stick to what you do.
I got off my game.
You did.
I got off my game.
That's what happens when you get scared.
Yeah.
Well,
You're
good job out of you.
You got lucky.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe the pole was luck. Maybe the 305 laps led was luck. Maybe the fastest lap was luck. But winning the race wasn't luck.
I didn't say they got lucky.
Oh, okay.
I said you had the brains to get lucky enough to pick them.
He's trying to differentiate between there. Yeah, as you can see. How was your weekend in Martinsville?
It was cold.
It was cold.
It was freezing. And I didn't, so I did practice and qualifying. And so I didn't really think about
good job.
it. Yeah, hey, thanks.
It was okay.
Oh, okay.
Average.
That's baby steps. Usually it's below average, so we're getting up there. And I didn't really think about it. Usually I have like an undershirt because, dude, the shirts that we have, I sweat through that thing because it's hot usually. And it was cold. I'm like, oh, I'll be fine. And then it got too cold.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we're going to have to go about here up.
Yeah.
You guys don't mind? Above the chest? Just, shoulders up on this shot, please.
Top button?
Yeah, always, yeah.
The top button,
He had his shirt button and his chain hanging
Chain
out.
was out,
There you go.
yeah. Chain gang.
Nice. I wasn't in Martinsville. I went up to the mountains with my kids.
I know, I saw that. You have fun?
Yeah, it was good. And somebody
Was
asked
it
me
cold
if
there?
I was... no, it wasn't actually.
Really?
It was very pleasant. I took them to a Halloween fest,
Mhm.
and this woman stopped me. She's like, "Are you Beth Dutton?" I'm like, "No, this is just what I look like. I'm not
Beth Dutton.
I'm not dressed up in costume."
If you're going to be compared to somebody, I mean,
I don't know who that is, but it sounds like it's a good
You
compliment.
haven't watched Yellowstone?
No, I don't watch that.
Oh my heavens!
Oh, that from that.
are you kidding
Actually,
me?
I understand. Now I know the reference, and that's a good one.
Yeah.
I've never watched the show, but I know who that is.
But yeah, so it was interesting. It was fun. How was your weekend?
My weekend was good. We went to Bakersfield, California. We went and raced the super late models out there this weekend at Kern.
How'd that go?
It went good. Yeah, it was a badass race. The groove spread out 3 lanes, and I was running the top, and Keelan showed up out of nowhere, and then Jace Hansen from Colorado, he was racing for the super late model championship in the Cars Tour West, and we wound up with a hell of a race there at the end, and it came to the white. Keelan was below him. I was in the 3rd lane. They got together off the corner, and I ran down into turn 3 on Jace's bumper. Keelan spun out. It was wild. He got loose and kind of bounced off his door, and as he tried to correct it, it kind of came back this way, and he said it was pointed to the wall, so he just locked it left, and instead of coming back up the racetrack. So it was awesome.
Eventful, yeah.
Jace Hansen, he won by that much. Yeah, so it was cool. He was in full defense, but he needed to lead the most laps. He came in like 6 points behind.
Okay,
but he's a good dude, and
He is.
everybody raced hard. And
I'm just glad that you finally finished one, with a good finish. Like,
I had the best car at the end.
You did?
Those guys were so. Keelan's super aggressive. And he made me uncomfortable a few times with just how he would come up off the corner, and I'm like, I'm not wrecking both cars right here. And Jace was in defense mode because of the fact that he obviously wanted to win the race, didn't know where everybody else was, needed to win the race. So he was in defensive mode. So I'm the old guy back here like,
The old guy.
I'm not sure
Kevin's like,
I'm not sure.
Adding up the dollar amount for the 2 cars.
But
plus
the thing that a lot of those guys don't understand about that high groove, and I'm going so much faster than they are.
Yeah.
And I know that the spotters, some of them are like, not going to say anything, you can wreck quick in those instances. So I was pretty cautious around
Is that place progressive banking?
It is not, but nobody's ever run that high. And it is a solid 3 lanes up the racetrack right now. So we got out afterwards and everybody's like, oh my God, we didn't even realize there was a lane up there. I'm like, that's because nobody's ever tried. Yeah.
Well, now, new story.
That's
okay.
right.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you had a good weekend out there in Bakersfield.
Yeah.
Welcome in to episode 76, if you guys can believe that. We are down to the wire, final race of the year. Did you get everything you desired out of that elimination race in Martinsville?
I thought it was really good. You know, all 8 of those guys, for the most part, at some point were in contention to have a shot to run up front. I think that really Bell, I guess I shouldn't say 8. I should say 6.
Yeah,
the 6 of those guys, because you could tell Hamlin was somewhat cautious around Bell and his teammates and championship guys. I think that Briscoe probably never really, I mean, he was there.
He was like 10th place speed, maybe.
And so, but the other 6 guys, I mean, they showed up and kind of threw it all out there as we saw at the end with the final pass, and then they had the final restart, and so it was a very entertaining race. I thought that the left side tire change worked. I think that, you know, you've seen that at Landen, and it didn't really do what it did at Martinsville, but Martinsville's not Landen, and that's what we talk about on here all the time. I mean, you know, it's almost like we need to have different tire combinations for more racetracks like we used to. It's not as efficient as it needs to be for Goodyear, but I'm tired of hearing about the word efficiency anyway. I want the racing to be as good as it can, and I'm here to critique it and throw costs out the window. They can figure out they can figure out the costs, and so you know, I think that the left side tire did a great job in creating the fall off that we needed with the tire wear and everything that we saw. So I thought it was a good weekend.
There you go. You agree?
Yeah, I mean, look, the 24 and William Byron and Rudy Frugal and that whole group, they had a horrendous round, and not by their own doing, right?
Yeah.
Like it's just how sports works. That's just how it works. You can do everything right sometimes, and it's still not good enough.
That's right.
But what it did was, it put their backs against the wall, and they kind of knew that going into Vegas. I think Kim Kuhn had an interview talked to Rudy, and Rudy was like, we looked at after Vegas, what happened in Vegas, we were like, Martinsville's our championship, because Talladega, whatever can happen is never happen. But they went into leaving Vegas like, we got to put all our ducks, all our eggs in that basket at Martinsville. And look, they did, and so did everybody else, and that's what made it great.
I agree.
Because you absolutely had to do it. Like, and they raced great. They raced respectful and hard, and it wasn't like a Hail Melon move. Like, even though that move at Martinsville is great, but the one at Roval, I don't love that. Like, it's an exciting highlight moment.
You got to do it, though.
You got to do it. And so, I don't know. I just think that that is the best form of racing that we've had, totality. We had 2 guys racing for 1 point. So there was strategy in what they were doing, but they had to push.
Yeah.
And then they got back in the pack, and it was like, man, if someone wrecks in front of them, they're cooked.
The key to take out of these moments for me, for the competitors, like when I look at William Byron, for instance, and his team, and you look at the level that they were able to perform at and how they did it, how they prepared in the shop, the emotion, all the things that come with that. How do you do it every week?
Mm-hmm.
That's really what will separate one of these guys when they figure out how to be able to compete like that on a weekly basis and not just have to ramp it up when it's time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's when you see, you know, the Denny Hamlin, Joey Logano, those guys can do it all year. Now, you got to have the car to perform with it, but it's also, how do you solve the problems faster by carrying that intensity level on a weekly basis to get the lows to last less amount of time.
Yeah.
And so that one of these guys is going to figure that out. You know, I think that you can have bad luck and you can have slow cars, but that intensity level is what carries those slumps and is what pushes you out of those. It's exhausting. And you could see it on William Byron's face
really
when he got out of the car. You could see the amount of emotion and just fatigue that goes along with that. And it happens on the same guy, to the team guys as well. But when you can figure out how to perform like that and not fatigue yourself and have to deal with that mentally better on a weekly basis, that's when one of these guys is going to break out and do the things that a Denny Hamlin has done.
That's how you go from, Kaitlyn, that's how you go from a 3-win season to six, 7.
That's right.
Like, that's how that happens. I think it's very hard with this generation of racing to have an 8-win season or 9-win season.
I thought that, but I don't think so.
You don't think so? You think it won't be that difficult?
Our sport has evolved back into
what it was a little bit
the dominant teams.
Yeah,
right. And I think that it's easier to not have it happen because it is so hard. I think it's harder to make it happen, and it's more work. I think a lot of people talk about the drivers, and they talk about, they don't do this or they don't do that. The workload that it takes to be good, that is on the engineers and the crew chief and the driver, is at an all-time high. In the amount of time that it takes during the week and on the weekend with the studying, the simulator, all the things that go with it, all-time high in preparation, in what it takes to be able to perform and get the most out of it, because the details are so small.
Yeah.
And it takes so many of them to gain an advantage that the workload is way up. And, that commitment, the younger guys are going to have an easier time in doing that because a lot of them don't have a wife. Some of them don't have a wife. Some of them don't have kids, and they don't have the total circle of life to navigate. I mean, there's always going to be certain things that you have to navigate in that circle of life, but the problem-solving piece of it is a massive piece of the puzzle to go along with the workload that it will increase when you're in a lull.
Yeah. William talked a lot about just the resiliency, of course, of the team. Watching them, what they did on Sunday, winning both stages, going all out for the win. How do you think he has made a statement to the other guys in the championship
I was a little concerned there when he was behind the 12 car, and I felt like he needed to be more aggressive.
Talking at the end of the race.
While he was on his back bumper, I felt like he needed to be more aggressive at that time. And I think he realized it, because when he got the next opportunity, he took it. And I think that when he made that pass 3 wide on the bottom going around Ty Dillon there, I think he realized that if he waited around, in those moments you can't wait. You can't say, well, I'm just gonna ride right here and I want to wait till it's in to go. That's not how it works. And when the 12 started to drive away from him, I know Rudy said, hey, take care of your tires right here. But I felt like that he needed to do that. And I think that he realized that when he got the next opportunity, he better make it happen like he did right here.
Yeah, I think it's ironic that it was a 10 that was involved with costing him a lot of points at Vegas, and then it was a 10 here at Martinsville that kind of was just minding his own business, but was a part of it for this pass. I thought that the pass was just hard racing, and obviously Ryan said that same thing. I mean, 2 guys going after it, that's what we want to see. I would hope that no one would be like mad about how that pass was made. That's short track racing, and that there was couth and racecraft to it. And you gotta give Ryan and that 12 group, Jonathan Hassler and Team Penske, because the 22 had moments too, but they brought a piece that could win the race, and they were in position to win the race, and they did everything right.
Now, I will say it wasn't as in dominant win the race for him as it was last year.
No, but that's with the other guys getting better too.
Yeah, and I just, I think that some of that Penske magic, from the speed and kind of fizzled out compared to the competition this year, as far as where Gibbs and Hendrick have been. Hendrick has made a great evolution through the playoffs to get themselves back in contention with whatever they, started at St. Louis and the things that have progressed since then. The speed has gotten better. So they got to Martinsville, which is historically a great racetrack for them. But compared to the 12, I felt like they've kind of leveled that playing field as far as the progression through the playoffs compared from last year to this year. Yeah. But the 12 still brought a car capable of winning, just not as dominant as it was last year.
I think Jesse Saunders, the car chief for Kyle Larson, told me, I think it was maybe at New Hampshire, because we were talking about, they felt like after Gateway, they did that test. Yeah. They felt like they really found some things that were going to help them. It didn't show, you saw it a little bit at Gateway, but I think you saw it more at like a Martinsville. Like after they had more time to work on it and keep going down that direction. And obviously it worked because the 9 was fast.
So fast at the beginning of that race.
The 24 obviously won the race. Like they brought cars that were, one of those guys were going to win one way or another.
All the must-win guys were super competitive in the beginning. All the teams that were in must-win situations were right up there in the front.
Yeah, so. and when I was watching the race at the beginning, I was like, man, this 9 car is really good. Mm-hmm. And to me, I was worried. Yeah. Because when you have a car that's that good at Martinsville at the beginning of the race, usually it's not as good at the end.
It gets so cold.
It just changes so much. And the progression of the racetrack and whose car is really good at the end of the race is typically not the same. Byron was good from start to finish. The 12 was good from start to finish. But that's hard to do at that track. And 22 he wasn't as good at the end as he was at the beginning of the race. So I think the 5, when he realized how much he was better than the 20, 20 didn't really ever show up at the front of the pack. He got
to like 7th?
Yeah, 6 sevenths, 6 7. Yeah.
6 7.
Yeah. But he kind of stayed in that 5th to 7th part of the, well, let's say 5th to 10th part of the pack. And I think that the 5 knew that if they didn't do anything wrong, they were going to stay in front of him. So he didn't really need to be aggressive at any point because of the amount of stage points and things that he was gathering.
He did exactly what he needed to do.
Yeah.
Did you hear Larson say 6 7 on the radio last week?
Last week.
Last week?
Hilarious, because then there was a pause and then Cliff comes on. He's like, "What was that you said? We didn't really catch what you were saying."
Ty Gibbs did the same thing because the 6 and the 7 were in line,
6 7.
I guess, a couple times with each other. So the spotter's like, "All right, 6 in line with 7."
Yeah.
6 7. Like it's so dumb.
The stupidest thing
so
ever.
dumb, but it's like now it's like stuck in your head.
What does it mean?
Kids say
no one knows what it means.
I just Googled it over the weekend because my
good luck.
one daughter was saying.
Were you more confused?
No, it just kind of means like right on, like cool. Like, but I think that's all it means is like, yeah.
Yeah. Now it's just annoying.
Now it's just
I get
annoying.
so tired of hearing it at my house.
I am very tired of hearing it at mine as well.
I don't hear it that much.
Yeah.
So Kyle Larson advances by 7 points. I heard him say that he doesn't think the fact that he's won a championship in the past and gone through this experience before really will be an advantage to him. Do you think that's true?
That's interesting.
I don't think so. I think that there's a lot to navigate as far as the week and the weekend and things that are going to be annoying. You're going to have more people around you. And I think that it really is all in how you got to have a plan if you're going to do it well. I think if you just go in there and wing it, I don't think you're going to get the most out of it. I think you got to have a structured plan. I think when you look at, the Hendrick organization, I think that they're going to keep Byron in line and help him manage his time because that's what they do as a company anyway. I think that, the pressure of the weekend is high, but I think that the biggest thing in navigating the weekend is all the things that are not in your normal routine. I think that's the hardest part because it is what it is, right? Yeah. Like you're not trying to get there anymore. You're already there. I feel like there's only one way out, and you gotta probably have to focus on winning the race if you're going to win the championship. So, I think it's that part. The racing part is actually easier to navigate than the rest of it. But I think that the whole week and everything that comes with it is harder.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he says that, and maybe I don't know how it wouldn't help you. You know what I mean? I just don't see.
It's not going to hurt him.
It's not going to hurt you. Like maybe in his mindset is just like, well, it's just another race, and that's a very Kyle Larson
thing to
way
say.
to feel and way to approach it. So, but like,
and you will approach the race that way.
Yeah.
As just another race.
Yeah. Byron though, like I texted him and I texted Ben Proctor on it saying, like, "Hey boys, where's the party at?" And Ben was like, "Brother, we got to build another rocket ship. Like they're locked in today. I mean, we're recording on Monday. They were happy, but they're laser focused. And I think they've been here before and felt like they should have won a championship already. And I feel like they have a lot of confidence after what they did.
And you don't have a lot of time, right? Like you've been preparing the Phoenix car already, but it has to leave.
On Tuesday, yeah.
It's got to leave on Tuesday. Yeah. So you have a short week because you have to go out west. So from a team standpoint, it's one of those weeks where you don't have time to mess around with the party or anything like that because you got to be back at the shop and get the thing put in the trailer. So it's an interesting dynamic when you go to that championship race with everything that they make you do and all the people that show up. that typically aren't at the racetrack that want your time. As far as appearances and things like that.
Partners that aren't normally like your one-off, like your associate partners that maybe aren't ever a primary, but are a part of the team and getting it all going. Now they're there to support you, and you might never, this might be one of like 2 times you see them.
And for me, I had a family. Yeah. So we would always just rent a house so that you could get away from everything, but you had everybody in one spot, because being able to sit down at night and have dinner at the table, at the counter, not have to go to a restaurant, not have to go see a bunch of race fans, even though we love you, but you just you want to get away from all that to get your mind off of it. And for me, I always enjoyed that part of being able to have certain people. You had your core group people. I always had my good friends and family at the house, and being able to just do something that got your mind off of it was important.
Yeah, you talk about the pressure part, and I know I'm kind of circling back, but like when that last restart, or when that last pit stop, the money stop, I was on the edge of my seat because my hands
was too. I'm like, who's gonna screw up?
I'm like, this is high level sports. Like this, if you are a competitor, there is nothing more that you want than to see the whole thing. Every piece of the team had to work, because also I needed my crew chief to give me a qualifying like air pressure or whatever slight adjustment so I can have that much more. And Rudy did something, because the launch that he got off of 2, Ryan was like, it was over right after that. So
but
that was amazing.
I think it goes back to even qualifying, right? When you look at getting the pole, that's really what put them in position to take advantage of that first pit stall the whole race.
They didn't lose a spot all race, I don't think.
But you're 3,000ths of a second, 2,000ths of a second, whatever that was, from losing the pole to Ty Gibbs. And that weekend, and that's what we talk about. It's every lap, every lap that you're on the racetrack matters, whether it's the first lap of practice or the last lap of the race. And that one lap, getting that pole, put them in a position to take advantage of now, they didn't make any mistakes on it, but you just never know, pulling out of your pit stall, whatever can happen. And so qualifying really set the tone of controlling the weekend for the 24.
You guys were just talking about pit road. Not actually many mistakes from the pit crews yesterday. There was only one little thing with Chase Elliott, which wasn't hugely detrimental to their day either. But I was kind of surprised that we didn't see more miscues and missteps on pit road a little bit.
Yeah, and even with the Chase Elliott pit stop with the tire rolling away like it did, it was it only cost him 3 or 4 spots. It wasn't, and this is what we talk about all the time, is just don't have something catastrophic happen.
And that's just unlucky. Like the way when he said it, it did a wobble and it went around that way. I mean, he didn't set it right, obviously, but like it could have rolled a different way. And also, he's down in the corner, right? Is he down like closer to turn 1? So the pit road, you can kind of see it.
Well, he's closer to turn 4. Or turn 3.
Turn 3. You can see there's a little bit of like banking on pit road. And from watching on TV, you wouldn't know that. But when you guys know, when you walk on there, you're like, oh, there's actually a lot more banking here than you think. And so it kind of took the tire, but he saved it, and it kept them from having a catastrophic situation.
And I think when you look at the pit stops and the high level that those pit crew guys are at, those are the moments that the guys that hadn't done it before will realize and say, okay, and their coaches, their crew chiefs, all their competition directors, those are the moments that they need to recognize and understand from those individuals of how do we get this out of them all year, because that's the mental preparation and the focus that you need on a weekly basis. Tough to do, though.
I promise you that everybody saw that, and they'll talk about it in their pit crew meetings or whatever they have in practice. Be like, hey, in these situations, that saved us. Yeah. If we have that at Phoenix, like this,
you lost 3 or 4 spots
versus
not the
tail
whole
end.
Not the whole field.
Yeah.
I know we touched on him a little bit, but I want to go back to Christopher Bell because he said after the race, the consistent theme was just going backwards. It was surprising to see that out of that group, given their past history at the racetrack. I'm surprised that they missed it the way they did.
Yeah, I think Ty Gibbs qualified outside the front row, but for the most part, they all kind of ran.
Race pace wasn't great.
I mean, Denny was up there. Ty was up there. The race pace was, at best 5th to 10th. For those 2 cars, I felt like, that Denny was probably gonna finish somewhere in there. Ty could run right in there. That's where Christopher Bell was. Chase. I mean, they were all kind of in that same area as far as performance, and didn't have that top 5 speed that we're typically used to seeing out of them at Martinsville. So definitely a little bit surprising, from that standpoint. I think that the more surprising part was all the engine problems.
I was just going to get there. Yep.
And we've been talking about this with the 11 car, just with the mechanical problems that they've had. And, I think that was probably the worst way that you could go into the championship race.
Back to back.
With back-to-back mechanical issues. And I think when you look at the momentum from the 24 compared to the 11, just on total opposite ends of the spectrum. Now, will Denny refocus and be ready himself? But I don't think we've ever questioned that. And you heard Denny mention it after the race. They asked him directly. They said, "Are you worried about the mechanical issues?" And he didn't
there's
say
nothing I can do about
He didn't
it.
say no. He said there's nothing I can do about it. And he definitely didn't back him.
No.
From what he thought about it being ready. His quote was, I believe, "We're going to be fast. We know we're going to have the speed." And I think that definitely, to me, says we might have some questions about the reliability of everything that's been happening, because there's been a lot of it.
Been quite a few as of
car.
late. What is that like for a driver when you have that kind of thought lingering in your mind going into a championship race?
Well, it never happens in a year where you're running slow.
Of course.
I can tell you that.
And if it does, you don't really care because you're at restart anyway.
But it never happens. No, all those gremlins and problems and questions about mechanical stuff never happen when you're running like shit.
When you're running 25th, you never get a blown engine.
Yeah, you can't blow the damn thing up. There are many days when you're back there running 30th and you're like, I'm trying like how I wish this thing would blow up. Yeah, but it'll only blow up when you're running
in the top 5.
In the top 5 or top 10 or whatever it is, and you have a day that you can be competitive. But and all those engines blew up at the same time, or whatever the problem was happened at a very similar time. So, but yeah, I mean, back to Bell, I think that Bell never really, he never really showed any signs of making a lot of progress with his car to be able to run in that top 5. So, and ultimately, it cost them an opportunity to win the championship.
They just needed to get points, and they didn't score any in the first stage.
Well, they just weren't fast enough to.
No.
Yeah,
that's really what it was.
I was very surprised to see that personally.
Yeah, I mean, I think but that's the thing is like everybody's better. So if everyone's better, and maybe you miss it by a little bit, like that little bit is a lot when you have 8 competitors that are bringing the good stuff, and then you have a couple outside of the, outside of the playoffs that are still coming to compete. Like Ross Chastain was up on that mix. He was competing hard. So with Denny, I was interested to see how he was going to run the race. And he was in the mix. I think he was right where he wanted to be.
Yeah.
Like he was in a position to where like, if I need a push, I can fend off one of the Penske guys that I think ultimately he doesn't want in Phoenix. But it was setting up to be very, very interesting from that standpoint. Yeah. And then he blew up, and now it's like,
to see that.
Yeah,
well, his only goal, I mean, obviously they didn't want the engine failure and the kind of the downer to go into Phoenix, but his only goal was to have no enemies when he left Martinsville.
Yeah, he did that.
Yeah, I mean that's really, you just want to be able to get to Phoenix and just race the other 3 guys for the championship.
At least he didn't make any more.
It was really interesting at the end of the race too, when they were getting to the lap traffic. Like the first 8 of them were Chevrolets.
So it was like I was watching this.
And they definitely raced Byron a lot different than they raced Blaney.
And there's a couple Fords in there.
Yeah.
There's a couple Fords in there, and I'm like, it was interesting.
Busher got out of the way.
They were careful with what they were doing, and it was interesting.
Yeah.
I think Ryan even made a comment on the radio about it.
Did he?
I think.
Well, I mean, it was
Ryan
pretty
Blaney.
obvious that they.
Yeah.
And they didn't do anything wrong. They just
It's
did what
part
was
of
right.
it, right?
Yep. for their manufacturer.
He made a comment earlier about not having any patience for guys because he caught up with like Suarez or something, or like see ya. Like he was like at that point of the race, he was like on a mission. So, but yeah, Everyone knows.
They were like 6 or 8 Chevrolets.
6 or 7.
6 or 7. Whatever.
Okay, so Chase.
Notice I went right around that.
Yeah,
Briscoe.
6 or 8.
Sorry, I went right back to it. William Byron, Denny Hamlin, Kyle Larson are your competitors in the Cup Series. Xfinity Series, we've got Justin Allgaier, Carson Kvapil, Jesse Love, Connor Zilic. In trucks, it's Corey Heim, Ty Majeski, Tyler Ankrum, and Caden Honeycutt. So what I think is interesting, in all 3 series, you have one former champion and everyone else could potentially be a first time.
Here's what I think is interesting. When you look at Corey Heim's stats compared to everybody else, if he doesn't win this championship, it's going to be a nuclear meltdown if they don't change the points the correct way at the end of the year, because it shouldn't even be a question who the champion is in trucks.
Right.
It shouldn't be a question of who the champion is in Xfinity. So if Connor Zilic and Corey Heim don't win these championships, it's exactly why we don't need the system we have.
Mm-hmm.
As it is right now.
It's embarrassing.
So
let me ask you this: what were the 4 again?
For who?
So
Which
if
series?
Tyler Ankrum wins the Truck Series championship, what a slap in the face that is. To the series.
Okay, so do you if the right change, do you have an opinion on what that right change is?
The right change is to make as many points matter as possible for as long as possible.
So what does that mean?
I don't know what's right.
Okay.
I don't know what's right. And I think that my opinion doesn't really matter.
That's not true.
That's not true
what
at
these
all.
people. Listen, America.
No, you didn't let me finish.
Okay,
my opinion doesn't really matter to the committee because it's been not really. It doesn't really
resonate.
I've been on 1 meeting and maybe 2, and it's just it's not going to be made by the masses as far as how the point system is going to be laid out.
Okay, so
I think that my biggest thing is, if we're going to have a playoffs, you better make the points matter as much as possible, or these people are going to eat you up.
Mm-hmm.
And having the biggest sample size that you can in those playoffs for the points, you better have that, because if those 2 guys don't win the championship, it's an embarrassment.
Mm-hmm. He's just saying nothing.
What do you think?
What do I think?
Yeah. Corey Heim has 100 more points than the next guy.
He is gangstered it.
Mm-hmm.
He's had a phenomenal freaking season. And
so tell me why he should lose.
Because that's how it is. Like, we're like, should he lose or should he not lose? But that's what it is right now. You know what I mean? Like, that's the point system. So, like, if he loses, I'll be devastated for him. But I'd be devastated for him if he had 8 wins and lost a full season championship too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because he's still the best, but he still didn't win. And someone with 1 win maybe won. Like, that sucks. But, like, that's sports.
Yeah.
I know why everyone's mad. I get it.
I don't know. But I can tell you, if Tyler Ankrum wins the championship and Corey Heim doesn't, it's embarrassing to the series.
Okay.
Unhappy
let me.
folks.
I know I'm going to ask this, and I know that everyone's going to hate it, but I'm going to ask it anyway.
Oh, boy.
When a low seed team beats a high seed team in any other sport, is it embarrassing?
We shouldn't even call it playoffs because we're not playing anything.
Okay, that's semantics.
Yeah.
If we called it the chase, no one would care.
Yeah.
Like, if it was still the chase, no one would care. But like in every other form of sport, when an underdog beats a titan, everyone is so freaking excited. Like, that's what this country was built on.
Yeah, but you got to remember, in sports, they don't play each other every week.
Yeah. Okay.
And when you don't, I mean, you're racing against, you all have an even chance against each other every week to gain as many points as possible. I think that the sample size of what we have is much different than other sports. Mm-hmm. And I think that you have good teams and you have bad teams, but I just don't understand how you crown a champion that may not even win a race. Did he win? I don't know. He may have won 1 race, but
he did win a race.
Okay.
Yes.
One of them hadn't won.
Well, Kvapil hasn't won.
Ty Majeski has not won yet.
Ty Majeski has not won.
Yes.
So,
but you shouldn't lose to him anyway.
You shouldn't, but something stupid can take you out of it. That's why there has to be a much bigger sample size.
Okay, fair.
You don't like the 1 race determining it, right? Yeah.
No, I'm fine with the 1 race going away. Like, honestly, I'm fine with it changing. I'm just saying, I think the conversation is interesting because let's take a sport that has 7 game series in the finals. If my best player blows their ACL, that's like blowing a tire. I'm cooked. But you know what? That sucked. And it is what it is. I think we need to get over this thing of like, well,
But to determine their champion, they have 7 games.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, so let's just take your playoff argument about other sports and comparing it to other sports.
Well, that's just that one.
Other sports.
Super Bowl is one game.
Yeah, true. But I mean, baseball, basketball has multiple games.
NCAA is one game for all of them.
Yeah, and think about how much garbage that the NCAA goes with every time that they put people into the playoffs.
But they keep adding playoff spots because it's generating revenue and people love it.
Well,
and
we added playoff spots too when certain drivers didn't get into the playoffs. We made the playoff field bigger. So that we, what I'm saying is it's not going to be even for everybody. And if we have tried to make everything as fair as possible for everybody, and the same teams have risen back to the top. It's never going to be fair for everybody. I don't want to see everybody win. And I don't want to see Tyler Ankrum beat Corey Heim for the championship.
I think we can all agree the playoffs format is intriguing and interesting, but there needs to be a change made to put a higher premium on points.
Yeah.
And not have one race determine the whole thing.
I'm fine with it not being one race.
An amendment they can make.
If it's the last 4, last 3, I don't care what it is. I'm just saying the postseason mentality and what that does for competitive nature.
What has it done though? What is it? I mean, it's changed the way that you do as a competitor.
Yeah.
But has it increased the ratings at the end of the year? They talked about how big this ratings increase was going to buzz because we're going to have this Game 7 moment. It hasn't done anything for the TV ratings or popularity of the sport.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, fair.
Nothing.
Okay, fair. But
we've had some of our lowest TV ratings ever because of in the playoffs.
At the same time, though, you got to look at what's going on in the sports world and at a whole. You know what's up is football. NCAA football is up. NFL football is up. And Major League Baseball is all up. And right now in the playoffs, we end up going against 4 major sports because hockey is back too. Like, so our casual fans that watch multiple sports.
But they all show up when you put them on NBC instead of ASA or USA.
Yeah. ASA. Wherever it is.
We're going way back crazy now. Yeah. There's more TVs on that channel. So it like that number gets kind of.
We've made multiple mistakes with.
I'm not saying we haven't.
The TV deal is bad when it's not on the proper networks, and being able. I mean, when you put Talladega back on NBC, the TV ratings are great.
It should be on the main. Our racing should be on everyone's main channel.
Yeah,
like whatever your biggest. That's what we deserve. That's what we should be at.
But I will tell you that the playoffs have not done anything. The one race Game 7 championship moment has done absolutely zero to make it more exciting.
There you have it.
All you gotta do is look at the viewership numbers.
Yeah, people don't like it.
More people don't watch that last race because they're racing for a championship than they did when they had normal points.
Look, again, I'm fine with that part going out. Yeah. I don't want to see the postseason go out.
The cup piece of it, they're all pretty equal. They've all had pretty good years. But the other two are pretty lopsided. And if one of those, if Corey Heim or Connor Zilic don't win the championship, it's an embarrassment to the whole season.
It's gonna suck, but get it done.
Yeah,
that's what. Listen, that's what this is. You gotta get it done. Like I don't feel bad if you don't. I feel bad
because they raced all year. They raced all year to put themselves in that position and have dominated their series and could not be the champion.
I don't like that some dumb variable could prevent you from winning a championship in the final race.
Literally,
that's a tough pill to swallow.
That is sports.
We race.
Huh?
We're racing.
It's not a sport?
No.
It says motorsports it says motorsport.
Motor racing. Yeah.
All right, we got to move on to Phoenix.
I don't want to be a sport. I want to be a racing series.
You knew better than to stir this up today. You knew what he was going to say.
I knew what he was going to say, but like I understand it, and I get yelled at about it all the time. But like
you do, man.
I ain't backing down from it because
I gotta hand it to you. You don't.
Why? Because I believe in what I'm saying. So if you don't believe in what you're saying,
I think we all kind of believe the same thing. There just needs to be a change. Something needs to change to make it more.
What's old is new again. Sure seems to me.
That's the new slogan, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well,
what's old is new again.
It's not the slogan, but they said they want to return to their traditional roots. That's
their
new
left.
marketing campaign.
You can't make it fair for everybody. It's not going to be that. It's never going to be fair for everybody. And
I mean, if
life is unfair, people.
Trying to appease everybody will never work.
But if we didn't change anything, you don't get 2311 and Trackhouse and Legacy, and Front Row probably is gone. Those owners have legitimately said that they're here because of the changes that have been made.
I'm not saying you don't need to progress and evolve, but you don't need to. We didn't need to evolve the way that we have.
I hear you, but the problem is a lot of our fan base gets so mad because we don't admit that there are good things that are going on. Like there are a lot of positive good. We only talk about so much of the negative that it just keeps this cycle of this whole thing sucks.
Well, there is a lot of positives, but most of them are cleaning up messes.
Oh. Sometimes you gotta break some eggs, man, to make an omelet. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I don't know how to transition off the omelet, but we are going to Phoenix and we will crown a champion in all 3 series. Kevin, you kind of started talking about it a little bit, just what this week is like for the driver, some of the mind games they play with each other, the way the interactions are with the other teams in the garage and stanchioning off your area. Like, what is it like? It's very intense.
It is intense, and I think that's one reason Kyle Larson said what he said, just because of the fact that he's the only one that's been there and won that championship, and just to make the other guys think that, oh, maybe it is different, right? But the biggest thing is, don't read Twitter or whatever it's called, X. Don't read the comments. Don't buy into all the garbage that goes with everybody's opinion. Just do your own thing. And I think that if you can, for William Byron, it's easy. Just do exactly what you did at Martinsville. So whatever you did at Martinsville and got your decisions and performance and all those things to be at that level and the things that went with that goes first. Mm-hmm. And then you manage everything else, and you've got to understand it. It's going to be a little bit different. But I always felt like once you finally got to the race, it was almost a relief because of all the work that you put in with everything during the week and the appearances and dinners and all the things that you have to do. I mean, it's just, you got to be prepared for an abnormal week. Would
you ever say to your team and your group, like, no, I'm not going to commit to all these different things. Like, I need this a little more simplified. It's not an option. Mm-hmm. You had to do it all.
Yeah. And it's not an option. And I think that you also have to realize that it's a special moment. Buy into the moment, do the extra work, shake the extra hands, do the extra appearances and all those things. It just has to be planned appropriately so that you can still eat lunch and you can still eat breakfast and you can still, have the right amount of sleep and do all those things. You can do everything that you need to do. It's just, it's a different schedule. It's a different routine than normal.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I just remember covering your career, and it would start that media day in Phoenix, and like the 4 of you would be sitting up there, and he always looked so like calm and normal, and some of the others you could tell were a little out of their element, but I always thought it was interesting to watch how the 4 presented themselves at that very first media
you can tell who's nervous pretty quick.
Yeah, you weren't.
Who's comfortable being up, who's uncomfortable being up there and being a part of all that. And a lot of it, a lot of them get frustrated with, having to do more than they normally do because they've never done it before, right? That's the biggest thing for the Chase Briscoes and, Byron and Hamlin and Larson have been at some pretty high level stuff, but it's going to be interesting.
I mean, I'm kind of interested to see how Briscoe's going to handle it, because he's always so like, in practice, we'll be like, hey man, your car looks pretty good. He's like, yeah, I don't know how qualifying's going to go. I'll probably qualify 6th, pole.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's very nonchalant. So I'll be interested to see him in that situation, in that environment. William's been there. Denny and Kyle have been there. So
he's been there and lost.
Yeah,
they've all been there and lost.
Yeah. Huh?
Yeah. The other 2 of them have been there and lost.
Yeah.
Right?
Only one has been there and won.
So they've been there. I mean, Briscoe will be there the first time.
Yep.
But they've been there and lost, so they need to learn why they lost last time, right? Like it's not just we didn't get the car right. There's more that goes into it than that. There's just the mental preparation of having everything organized and making the right decisions during the week. There's just a lot of things, but you're not going to have more pressure than you had at Martinsville for the 24.
No.
Right? Mm-hmm. Like you're not going to have more pressure than that do or die moment. So that's why that momentum and that experience for those guys is so important leading into the next week, because they don't have a week in between to have a motor failure or something to detour that momentum that they have. They're going right into the championship race. And I've done it both ways. And there was nothing better than winning the next to last race leading in. There's not not more momentum.
There's something about it that you look across the garage and you're like, we have the momentum. Like, they're all looking at us because we just won. So, because like, it flips in a week.
Yeah.
Like, you feel like you got it. Like, and if you win, you feel like you got it. If, the 11 blew up, the 19 blew up, I don't think it's going to hinder their race car, but you just have a little extra pep in your step when you're like, we feel like we have something over them.
But you have that question.
I have that
If you're 11 and 19, you have that question. Is my car going to make it? Is my engine going to blow up?
And you can't not drive any different. You got to go get it.
And it will take away from the conversation during this week of what the 24 conversation is. We made all the right decisions. We had all good pit stops. Our car didn't fall apart. Our engine didn't blow up. We won the race. And that is just much different than, they're two different things. Now, can Denny Hamlin and Chase Briscoe refocus and it motivate them and they win a championship? All four of them can win the championship. They all have the power to go out and kick everybody's ass on that particular week.
Who do you think's the guy then? Who do you give the advantage
am I picking?
to?
Am I picking?
He picked Bell. I mean, obviously that.
Well, now that we know who officially has made it, I'm just curious if you believe any of them has an advantage. Of the other three.
The first three, when you look at the stats, the first three on speed are in there. Briscoe's the outlier. He was 7th or 8th on speed for the whole year. So you have 3 of the 4 that have been the fastest cars on the speed ranking all year.
And Briscoe's been the fastest over the last
maybe
half.
Yeah, I just looked at the whole year.
Yeah, the whole year. Yeah.
For the sample size, and I think that when you look at the speed in the playoffs has leaned towards the Gibbs cars. I think that it just Denny Hamlin has been the guy that's consistently had a chance to be the dominant car. 24 was the dominant car this weekend and has the momentum, leading into the championship race. And I just don't think you can undervalue that from a momentum standpoint. So, I think it's any of the 4 could win, but I think 24-11 is where I'm kind of leaning at this point.
24-11. There you go. You agree?
I picked the 24 at the beginning of the year.
Byron,
I think the last time William was here, they kind of backed their way into it. It's different when you go and take it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think he finished 3rd or 4th. He was right behind the Penske car. Not right behind on track, but he was like the next car behind on track. So he's got to feel good going into it that they're going to have speed and that they're going to know what they have to do. I just feel like he's got it. But Briscoe I'm worried about Briscoe.
Wild card.
I'm worried about Briscoe. He's won here before with Stewart Haas. He's been fast as hell throughout the playoffs. Up until this week, a blown engine, they had a 5th place average finish. Like that one.
That whole team has won a championship with Martin. Pretty much the whole group was part of Martin's championship years.
Yeah.
So watch Briscoe just come in there and put on the dash.
He literally could.
All 4 of them can do it.
And freaking
That's what makes it great.
Larson and Cliff are like one of the best duos that we've seen since Rodney and Kevin. Like it's just like they all have something special to them. And
That's true. That's a good way to put it. Like each one has, you can make a case for everybody.
100%.
It's going to be interesting.
It's just like going to Martinsville, right? Like you just kind of circle the Gibbs cars and say they're going to be good at Martinsville.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of circle the Hendrick cars and say they're going to be good at Martinsville.
Mm-hmm.
But the Gibbs cars didn't really have the capability of winning Martinsville.
Mm-hmm.
And the Hendrick cars dominated Martinsville. So, there's so many elements and pieces of the puzzle that could just be off that much, or a change that you make to say, all right, this has been better at St. Louis. We're going to go to Phoenix and it not work.
Yeah.
And you're stuck with it. That's what you got.
Yeah.
Sometimes too, like when you look at it, when people are looking at like a math problem or a word problem, you're staring at it. You're staring at it for too long. That kind of happened with AJ and Colleague. Like they won a couple years ago. In Xfinity, they won Vegas.
Early. Locked
They had nothing but Phoenix to focus on. And they were a bag of ass.
Yeah.
Like they missed it and they had all the time. So sometimes too much time can be a detriment because you're like, oh no, we should just do this because that'll, and it doesn't. And you're like,
right.
Shit.
Yeah. It's going to be very intriguing. We hope everyone will watch on ASA Live. It'll be
ASA
there
Live.
this weekend.
Is it a championship race on USA?
No, it's on NBC.
You scared me.
Sorry.
It's like, oh God.
Oh God.
It's on NBC.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Guess what? your turn.
Oh,
Yeah.
been so
We're
locked
already
in.
there.
This show's been.
But this
I'm
is-
sorry. Been so locked into yelling at Kevin.
You didn't yell at me.
Well,
It was a very good debate. It was a friendly
Hey,
debate.
y'all. Welcome to your favorite segment on the show. And that is not from me. That is from the people at Martinsville. The closers from Martinsville wanted me to make sure that you knew.
Okay.
that this is their favorite segment. Mamba's social sips. All right, we haven't done much karting. We haven't, ever since Keelan has left the karting, we haven't talked about karting much. But Joey Logano has a little go-kart track right around his shop. Apparently his sister can wheel too. Yeah, let's check out this clip right here. So this is the beginning of it. I'm like, because I've seen Joey run this car a bunch.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, why are they filming this? And then
And then it's
bam!
like, oh, wait a minute. Long hair, blonde.
Danielle, his sister, who is like a world-renowned
Figure
skater
Mhm.
and teaches hockey players how to power skate
Yeah.
down in like South part of Charlotte. She's ripping.
She was.
Are you sure that's her?
I was very impressed.
Kevin, I'm told that was her. That the video says it's her.
I don't know.
Or you think that's too good?
It's your segment.
Yeah, I'm just,
It's your
I-
segment.
I'm just bringing social media to the
I love
people. You know?
I hope it was her.
I
Yeah.
think,
Could Delana rip like that? Still?
No.
No.
No. Delana, she had a late model race and she spun out 3 times. And every time she couldn't reach the switches, so I had to go on the track and start the car.
Oh.
And then she had, we drove her legend car one time, and that was pretty much the extent of her racing career.
It's okay.
So,
You'll have that sometimes.
yeah, that's the way it goes.
You know what there's no doubt about talent behind race cars is the guys that run V8 Supercar.
Yeah.
They are wild. It is
Wild.
so cool. And I think it was last week, I couldn't tell you, don't ask me where it was, but watch the S's that these guys, so the first car, second car, cool. Third car?
That is
Oh!
Fourth car? It's a full-on send moment. I know that must have hurt when he missed, when he hit that turtle
Yeah.
or whatever they call it over there.
that's impressive.
Full
we'll
send
say.
mode.
That's a unique section of corners.
There was another one that they came out of the S's, and then there was like a
That's
wall
one where they
barrier.
get all their cool pictures where there's just 2 of them and they're up on their side like that.
Those cars, it's interesting because they're obviously very much like a sports car. They're more sports car than our cars, but I do like a lot of the features that they have in them.
Our
Especially
cars
all
have
that.
become more sports car.
Yeah, no. Yeah, but
Yeah.
not like that. They're not quite like that.
Hey,
They
by,
can't jump like that.
by the way, Tyler, our producer, said he thinks you're losing your voice from that debate between
I
you
am.
and Kevin.
I was hot. I was on it.
We need your voice to hang on for a
No,
few more
honestly,
minutes here.
because
We don't play anything.
huh?
We don't play anything, so we can't call it playoffs.
This is a way of life.
Play?
No, this is a way of life.
This is
Racing.
way of life.
Yeah,
I got
racing's
you.
a way of life. If we called it the chase, still, no one would care.
To chase. Yep.
No one would care.
We don't want to be like football. We don't want to be like baseball. We
You
don't
don't
want to be like
You don't want to
hockey.
make. You don't want to make money like they do.
We're our own thing.
No, I want to be NASCAR, badass racing.
Right,
Just
but-
like they're going to promote again.
Hell yeah!
Mm-hmm.
I want
Okay.
us to make as much money
We're not
as
here
they
to
do.
play.
Huh?
We're not here to play. We're here to race.
We're here to
We're
work
not here
and
to
race.
play. We're here to race.
All right.
That'll be
is-
that. We should make that the slogan of the Dunn Committee.
What-
There you go.
We're not here to play. We're here to race.
Yeah.
Okay, lock it in.
There you go.
Put it,
We
put it
didn't
on
have
a
a
t-shirt.
slogan
I
for
better
that
trademark that before
You better
somebody
trademark it
steals
so
it.
it takes it. Put it on a t-shirt. Hang it in the Louvre, and maybe it'll get stolen.
Maybe we'll get
Thank you guys. That was Mamba Social Tips for this
There you
week.
go.
Leave a voicemail if you want. 805-317-4175. And as always, the mailbag, harvickhappyhour4@gmail.com.
All right. Very good. Okay, guys. Time now for our last call here on episode 70. What did I say? 6? Yep. 76.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas, 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario, new customers only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gambling resources, see dkng.co/audio. NASCAR is not responsible for this promotion and used under license.
Okay. So before, what?
Are we betting?
Betting?
Yeah.
We're getting ready to.
Oh,
Before we
We're getting ready
get
to bet.
into our picks for this week, let's take a look at the best bet of the weekend, courtesy of DraftKings.
Yes. So this week we had William Byron at plus 285. So you could have made a little money off William. That's probably
not bad.
That's probably a pretty good bet this week as far as guys that could actually win the race. So plus 285 for William Byron. You could have made some money if you'd have bet like Mamba. Take the checker flag with DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code Harvick. That's code Harvick for new customers to get $300 in bonus bets when you bet just $5 and win your first bet. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours.
There you have
You know,
it.
Hugh damn right.
This is the last time you get to wear the crown for the year.
That's right.
No, it's not, because I'm going to win the championship and walk into the studio and have it on,
With it on?
all
Okay.
show long.
All right, guys. Burnout for Byron. I hear you were impressed.
I was impressed. I honestly, I felt like just from a pure smoke in the tires burnout standpoint, that this might be the best burnout of the year as far as smoke and the longevity of it. But there's nothing to go with it. Like, we didn't high five anybody. We didn't drag the tail against the wall. So I think I put that right behind Chase Elliott, SVG, then Byron.
Okay,
It's the
third.
top three.
I think that just because his burnout was so good, we have to put it in the top three.
It's also at Martinsville. Tight quarters. And
Absolutely.
he never stopped. When he came out of the donut, he started having a burnout down the. It was
High marks for the longevity.
High marks. And look at all the smoke right there.
Yeah,
Thing was-
that's cool.
And it is a patriotic scheme. That's kind of cool.
And I think that when he got out of that car, man, you could see the relief, the fatigue, the stress, everything that just piled up all into that last race.
Yeah,
Yep.
you only get that with playoff moments.
Good for him. Good
Yeah.
for that whole group.
You could,
really
if you had a great year and you could
rose the
get to the last race and
occasion.
celebrate your championship, you'd have it too.
These two, I cannot keep them on the tracks here today. Okay, point standings. Oh, God. Let's take a look. Kevin's at 58, Mamba 53. Obviously, both of you picked Byron, so you collected some.
You
I
gained
collected
nothing.
a few
For
for Christopher Bell. 14% of the fans picked William Byron this week. So,
That's a good. They listen.
but I still can win, is my understanding, if Larson wins the whole thing, because I'll get 50
Gosh,
points.
I can't imagine. I think I'd feel like if I lose at this point, I guess our points are
Are
close
you like
enough.
Corey Hyman? I'm Tyler Ankrum. Is that what you're
Yeah,
saying?
yeah. It's like, and you're
What the
just kind
heck?
of, you were way behind too. At this point, I feel like my body of work sucks because I could lose.
Yeah.
I know how these guys that should win the championship lose.
You know what's
if they
crazy?
feel
You know
if
what's
they lose.
crazy is you would have lost. It would already be over if you weren't so scared and went with my pick.
Oh, I had a strategy.
Yeah, it didn't work.
It worked great.
How? Because now
You
you're
gained nothing on me.
Yeah, but your pick is out.
Yeah, but now I still get a pick for the last race. And as long as you don't win the championship, I'm in good shape.
Wait, what do you mean you get a pick for the last race?
I get to pick a winner.
You get to pick
Okay.
a winner?
Yes, go ahead.
Hang on. Tyler, roll the tape. Roll the tape. I got something for you guys. Hang
Let's
on one
hear it.
second.
There you go.
I think America will agree with me when I say we need a race winning pick for Phoenix, and you have your champ pick.
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
Because you don't have to win the race to win the championship.
Yeah, but that's
We're
not gonna
just making
happen.
champ picks, I bet, for
That's
that
not going to
week.
happen.
I'm just saying.
I
So what
hate
did you-
when
what
this
did he say?
happens. Well, I guess you and I sort of
Oh, no.
indicated we didn't want to do
You
that.
indicated that this exact situation is
Okay,
what
so
you
I'm
didn't
taking
want.
Bell.
There you go.
Is that who
Okay.
I'm taking?
No, you don't
Is that what
have.
you're saying?
No, I'm saying you don't get a pick. You
What do
got
mean I
nothing.
don't- What do you mean I don't get a pick?
That's what you guys said. I said
That is, we would never say that. That is,
we just watched it.
I
No.
think there's confusion
I
here.
think there is some confusion.
You can make a pick. Yes. Mamba, I get what you're
We need
saying.
a
Go
referee.
ahead, Kevin.
No, we need a
make your
referee.
selection.
What's the rules, referee?
You're making a race pick because your championship pick is out, so that doesn't work anymore. But you're making who you believe will win the race. Okay.
Okay. So I have to go first because my pick's out.
Yeah. Well, like I'm
yeah.
sticking with Larson. You're sticking with
Yeah,
Byron.
I mean, you're the only one that has a different pick because you don't have a championship.
Okay. Well, I'm going to take Hamlin.
Okay. There you go. I like this. All right. We'll have to see how it all goes down on Sunday.
Yeah.
There you go.
Ladies
Hey,
and gentlemen.
And I'm still excited. Now, let's think about this. I want everybody to think about this. Everything that we have going on, regardless of our picks, or who, at this point, if Denny Hamlin wins the championship, who's going to hand him the trophy from NASCAR?
Jim France.
You think?
Bro, you have to. You know why? Because at some point, somebody has to be the bigger person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
At some point, somebody, and they have admitted that it's gotten personal. And if Jim does that, I think that's like
So if Denny Hamlin
Respect.
wins the championship and Jim France hands him the trophy, does that mean that does that soften the stance and everybody needs to get along and settle this thing before it goes to court? Because I sure hope that's what happened.
So do I.
think the best thing for NASCAR that could happen right now
Don't
is if
say
Denny
it.
Hamlin wins the championship and Jim France has to hand him the trophy.
We're going to have to see.
I think the thing is you're respecting the driver and the athlete of what they've done on track and separating the two things, and that's why I think that should happen if he did it.
That'd be the right way to do it.
That's what I would do, because you can still dislike him and everything and what's going on over here, but the driver of the 11 and the 11 team deserve to have the top of this sport give you the trophy.
Yep. Okay. Well, Kevin, Thursday episode, you got Burt Myers? Excited
Got
for
Burt
that?
Myers. Yeah, we've been trying to mix it up, and I think that Burt is just he's been such a integral part of Bowman Gray, the short track system, and just a good dude. So it was a fun conversation.
I listened in. You don't want to miss it. Okay, guys, this has been fun. One more race to go, and we will see everybody here on Harvick Happy Hour after Phoenix.
Go Byron.